here thinking about us, and the way you kiss me any given little touch, you just make me feel like I'm the only one you want. And I can't imagine life if there was no more us, because the way you make me feel is so unreal. Just us together, no one else.
Okay, you guys. Being a single mom, like, I didn't write anything down, so I'm just like, I'm gonna tell you how I became a single mom. Me and her dad, like, we were together. I got pregnant. Okay, this is the story. This is what happened. We did the do. Things happened. I was supposed to go get a plan B. Or is it plan A? Whatever it's called. I was supposed to go get that. We went to the gym the next morning, and I was like, okay, we need to get it. We forgot to get it before we went to the gym. And then I was like, by the time we were going back to the house, I was like, I gotta go to work. So I jumped in the shower, and I went straight to work. So with me going straight to work, after that, like, I was kind of living with him, kind of not living with him. I was like, kind of still with him, kind of not. But I had a lot of clothes at his house. But anyways, I had went to work. After going to work, I went back to my house. I took a shower, and then I went to his house. And he was like, hey, did you get it? And I was like, no, we'll get it tomorrow. Meanwhile, we never ended up getting it. So I missed my period, and I was like, oh, crap. So then, like, 2 weeks later, but my period was irregular, so it was just like, you know, it's a hit or miss. But I was like, I know that I should check because we had an accident. So he went to go buy pregnancy test. I believe it was first responder because it had 3 in the box. And he was going to go get me pizza because I was really craving some veggie pizza, because at this time I was like I was vegan, but then I went vegetarian. It was a lot. But anyways, I wanted some veggie pizza, so he was going to go get me some veggie pizza. And I believe he was going to, like, Papa John's or something like that. He was going to go get me some veggie pizza. Anyways, he wasn't at the apartments yet, and I was like, okay, let me hurry up and, like, pee. As soon as I got in the house and as soon as he was in the car, I peed on the stick. And you guys, as soon as I peed, you know you're supposed to set it down and let it, like, go through? You guys, I peed. Those 2 lines popped up so fast, and I was like, oh. So I called him. He turned right back around, came to the house. He was, like, super excited. He was like, oh my gosh, like, we're gonna have a baby girl. Like, that's first thing that popped in his head. We ended up having a baby girl. Her name's Harmony Rose. If you guys haven't seen my, like, videos before this, you should go back and watch them. But yeah, her name's Harmony Rose James. But I took the test. I was like, okay. So then I took the other one, and I was like, okay, well, let's go get my pizza, and then we'll come back and take the other one. We went to go get the pizza. I called my mom, and I was like, hey, Ma, I have something to tell you. And she's like, what? And I was like, my period kind of didn't come. She's like, okay. And then she's like, you're pregnant. And I was like, yeah. And then I started crying, and then she seemed, like, really happy. I was expecting my mom to, like, flip bricks, but she was actually, like, happy for me. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm, like, really excited. But if you guys know, I had my baby really young. I'm 20 now, and she's, like, only 2 months. So I had her when I was 20, but I got pregnant when I was 19, and then, yeah, I turned 20, and then, you know, had her. So yeah, it's just really, I was, like, really young, but I was already out of school. Like, I was working. I wasn't living at home with my mom. So she was just like, okay, like, you know, I'm happy for you. So we went back to the house, and then I took the other test, and I was like, okay, well, we need to go to the hospital because I could just be hyping myself up. So we went to the hospital. I didn't end up going to work. That being a long story, they ended up firing me because I found out I was pregnant, and that job was just, it was worrisome. But anyways, I didn't end up going to work. I called my manager, and I was like, hey, I'm at the hospital. My stomach's hurting. Went to the hospital. They confirmed that I was pregnant. And I was just like, y'all joking, right? Like, these tests were lying. You're joking. We got in the car. Like, I took the pregnancy test, and everything's to the hospital because he's like, you should take them. So he took him to the hospital. They, like, saw him. So they, like, took me back straight away to do a sonogram. They told me I was pregnant. I was like, no. They took a pee test. They told me I was like, no. So we got in the car, and I was like, they're lying. Like, I threw the test out of the car because I was so mad. I was like, this is not true. Like, I'm too young. Like, you know, it was a mishap. Like, no way. So long story short, I had a baby. But yeah, that's just the story of how I got pregnant. and getting into, well, this is like, that's how we found out pretty much. And getting into how I became a single mom, we were like, you know, still up in the relationship. I think the relationship kind of like took a turn for the worse, because it was just like, once, like, you know, I found out I was pregnant, I'm just like, okay, well, we need to go get a crib. We need to start buying clothes. We need to start buying diapers. We need to just start, like, getting prepared. And her dad, he wasn't really on the prepared thing. He was just like, oh, you know, whenever it happens, it happens. Like, I'm like, okay, well, can we go shopping for clothes? We only went shopping for clothes once. And I was just like, okay, well, can we get a crib? And then I ended up finding a crib on Letgo or one of those sites. I found a crib. We went to go pick it up, but he was like really upset. He was just like, you're trying to do everything too fast, and I was gonna get you a crib next week, but you just want to do everything, you know, super fast. And I'm just like, well, you know, I want to get everything. Like, I want to get prepared. I want to get ready. Like, I'm not the type of person who just wants to sit there and be like, oh, when it happens, it happens. Like, I'm like, no, like, let's go get everything. Let's get prepared. Like, she's on her way. Like, why are we just going to sit and wait? And at this point, he was working. He was the only one that was working. I was staying at home because I had a rip in my sack. So I was kind of like on bed rest. So, yeah, I just wasn't working at the time. I didn't work for 5 months of my pregnancy. But it was just like going downhill. I would ask him like to do little things, and he would just get annoyed. I felt like he was getting annoyed because we weren't having sex. I don't know if you guys ever been pregnant. You know, that's a lot of information. But if you've ever been pregnant and you know what it feels like to have sex, it freaking hurts. Like, this was my first pregnancy. For me, it felt so bad. I didn't like it. But for him, he's just like, well, the doctor said it's okay, so let's do it. And we wrote our pros and cons list. This is like the day that everything happened. We wrote our pros and cons list, and once we wrote that, you know, he was going to work. He worked at night, so he still works at night, but he was going to work, and I sent him mine. He sent me his, and we were like, okay, like, we were trying to, like, get everything better, because he's like, I don't want to break up. Like, I want to make this thing happen. I don't know what happened when he was at work, but he sent, like, you guys, he literally texted me. The thing is so messed up. Like, I'm pregnant. You're texting me that you want to break up with me, and we live in the same house. So, like, you could have just came home like, hey, let's talk. Like, I want to break up. Like, that would have been better than just texting someone. Like, he was there before I even got up. So, I get up, and I always look at my phone whenever I get up, you know, like, because I don't know if he's going to be running late, like, whatever's going on. So, I look at my phone. Well, no, I actually don't look at my phone. I get up, and I'm just, like, probably, like, rubbing my eyes, and I hear he's in the living room because he would get home, play the game, or take a shower or whatever. I hear he's in the living room because he didn't come straight in the room to take a shower. I look at my phone, like, oh, why he sent me texts? Like, this was probably, like, whenever he was on his lunch break, and it was. I see it, and he's like, I want to break up. You guys, I'm literally going to insert the message on the screen. Like, that is so like, that's messed up. Like, to break up with a pregnant woman over text when you know you're gonna see her in the morning, like, what's wrong with you? So, you know, he got home, and I saw the message. He came in the room as I'm crying, and he's like, yeah, you know, I just don't think this is gonna work. Like, we literally just wrote our pros and cons list, and you're the one who said you didn't want to break up. Like, the entire, like, the beginning of the pregnancy and stuff, I was just like, you sure you want to do this? Like, we don't have to do this. We can break up. Like, I can get an abortion. I'm so excited that I didn't get one, but I was like, if you don't want to do this, I can put her for adoption. Like, I was just coming up with all these things. Like, I don't think I'm ready, and I don't think you're ready. Like, he already had a son, which, you know, he already has a son, and that's going to be in my next video of, like, how it is, you know. Well, this is the... Okay, you guys, he already has a son, so, you know, I was just like, we don't have to do this. Like, I know that you're trying to get your son. Like, I don't think you're ready. I was saying that, and he's like, no, I'm ready. I want this baby. Like, I want to be together. I want to get married. This, that, and the third. You know, everything that a guy wants to tell you, and then it doesn't happen. So, yeah, that's how he broke up with me. And you guys, that same day, it was so messed up how he did it. Remind you, at this point, I'm 6 months pregnant, and my best friend, she is, I believe she was 7 months pregnant, She wasn't supposed to be lifting anything. We weren't supposed to be lifting anything over 50 pounds. You guys, we were carrying stuff together that was way over 50 pounds. Like, he didn't do anything. Like a crib, if you guys know a crib is heavy. Even though he took the pieces apart, it was heavy. Her sister was there to help us as well, but you know, we're not just gonna have her carry everything, so we're carrying stuff too. This stuff is heavy. We're pregnant, we're out of breath. He had 2 people on his couch that decided not to help. A man and a girl who's not pregnant. Like, and he's a man, and he didn't help. Like, it's just, like, oh, it was terrible. Okay, you guys, but we're, like, moving. Okay, actually, I go to her house. Let me rewind this, because I'm going so fast. I go to her house, because I call her, like, first thing in the morning. I'm, like, crying my eyes out, like, telling her what happened. When you're pregnant, you're super emotional. Well, I was. Like, some people can be mean, and she was very mean, but I was very emotional. So I'm like calling her, telling her what's going on, and she's like, you know, just come over here, we can talk. And I tell him, like, okay, well, I'm gonna come back and then I'll grab my stuff, because he was telling me, like, you need to go. It's like, okay, well, you know, let me go, and then I'll go get some totes or whatever, and I'll come back and start packing. You guys, when I get back, all of my stuff is packed and it's at the door. Like, everything is packed and it's at the door. He had the crib. He undid the crib. I had called him and asked him to do that anyways, but he undid the crib. He had it at the door. Like, everything was just at, like, it was literally in front of the door. It was like, don't pass this part, grab your stuff, and leave. They're sitting on the couch, you know, kikiing, laughing, and I'm just like, wow, like, you this shady. Like, I'm your baby's mom. Like, I'm carrying your child. Like, I was on bed rest for a couple of months because I had a rip in my sack, and we were going back and forth to the hospital because I was having complications. But this man, he did not care. I was just like grabbing everything, and then he had got me something for Mother's Day. I asked him, can I take it? He was like, no. So you give me a gift and then you don't even give it to me? Like, it was just so, that breakup was terrible. It was so bad. Like, that's literally how we broke up. I was just like, wow, like, you can be that hurtful to someone that you decided to have a baby with, someone who you wanted to supposedly get married with, and it was so bad. Like, we were taking the stuff to the car, and my best friend was talking crap. She's like, yeah, this, that, and the third, and then she was talking, like, about the guy who was sitting on the couch, because he would have girls come over to the house all the time, and I would, like, tell my ex, like, you know, like, that's not cool. Like, I'm pregnant. I sleep in this room in my underwear. Like, that, it's just, the restroom was in the room. It's hot sometimes. Like, what if I'm just butt naked in the bed? Like, and he's just here. Like, that's weird. My ex did not care. He was just like, no, get your stuff and go. So now, they actually all live with him. Like, it's a 1-bedroom. 3 people live together, and that's how it is. But that's how me and my ex broke up, and the next video, I'm still going to have on the same outfit, and I'm going to tell you guys what it's like to be a single mom. I don't think the breakup was actually a bad thing. I think it was a good thing because it just lets you know how someone is and how they could be. And, you know, I don't think I could get back with him just because I don't want my daughter to ever think it's okay to be treated like crap. Like, for your dad to do that to me, I wouldn't get back with him just because you put me out when I'm pregnant. Like, what else would you do? You know, you didn't even help. I could have had a miscarriage. You don't care. But you guys, thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next.
It's just you and me.